So today we're going to be talking about the longest living species that exist in our world today. Except for the top 3, there is no particular order to today's list. You will be seeing creatures that were born long before humans even started using steam engines. From the mighty bowhead whale to the ancient Greenland shark, here are the oldest creatures that exist today. To start off our list, living along the Pacific shoreline from Alaska to Baja California, Mexico, we have the red sea urchin. Its skeleton, called a test, is made up of 10 fused chalky plates covered with spines. These feet are long, thin, flexible tentacles ending in tiny suction cups. The mouth of urchins, located on the test's flat bottom, is called Aristotle's lantern. It has 5 tooth-like plates that point inward and is moved by 60 muscles. They usually graze on attached or drift seaweed and kelp. Original estimates of the lifespan of red sea urchins were 7 to 10 years. However, through further research, Southern California red sea urchins can live up to be about 50 years old, whereas those in British Columbia, Canada, can reach more than 100 years old. These same studies determined that Canadian urchins over 19 centimeters in diameter were probably about 200 years old. Next on our list, we have wild koi fish, which are native to the fresh bodies of water around the Black, Caspian, and Aral seas. Koi can grow up to 3 feet or 90 centimeters in length. They are very colorful, ornamental versions of the common carp. Koi fish are omnivorous feeders who will eat food found at all depths of water, eating aquatic insects, algae, and plants. Their age was determined by testing the fish's scales, which produce growth rings, much like a tree. Koi usually live for 25 to 30 years, but there are reports of koi that have reached ages of over 200 years old. One famous koi in Japan named Hanako died in 1977, and a study of the growth rings of one of her scales reported that she was 226. This made her older than the United States of America. Moving along our list, we have the Galapagos giant tortoise. Today, these giant tortoises exist on only 2 remote archipelagos: the Galapagos Islands, about 1,000 kilometers due east of mainland Ecuador, and a cluster in the Indian Ocean, 700 kilometers east of Tanzania. Being the largest living species of tortoise, modern Galapagos tortoises can weigh up to 417 kilograms, or 919 pounds. They are herbivores that love to eat prickly pear cactus and fruits, as well as flowers, leaves, and grasses. In fact, these tortoises can go without eating or drinking for up to a year because they can store food and water so well. With an average lifespan of 177 years, tortoises are considered one of the longest living vertebrates on Earth. One of their oldest known representatives was Harriet, a Galapagos tortoise that died of heart failure in 2006, owned by the late Steve Irwin. Coming in as the largest creature on our list, we have the bowhead whale. Bowhead whales are uniquely adapted to living all year round in the Arctic seas, spending much of their time under the sea ice. The bowhead whale can grow up to 60 feet or 18 meters in length and weighs up to 100 tons, making it the 5th largest mammal on Earth. Its mouth contains a 3-meter-long baleen that is made up of 300 plates. This is used to filter plankton and tiny crustaceans like krill. The average age of captured whales is 60 to 70 years. However, examinations of whales discovered with ancient ivory spears still lodged in their flesh has resulted in estimated lifespans of at least 100 years. One whale was even found with fragments of a harpoon dating back to the 1800s in its blubber, making it more than 200 years old. Closing in on our top 3 oldest living creatures that exist today, At number 4, we have the Greenland shark. The Greenland shark lives in the Arctic and North Atlantic waters at depths averaging from 4,000 to over 7,000 feet. This shark grows to a length of 8 to 14 feet at maturity. Because of its incredibly slow metabolism, it moves at a very slow pace. So, in turn, it scavenges for its food and eats a variety of fish and birds. According to a study utilizing eye-lens radiocarbon testing, the minimum lifespan of a Greenland shark is 272 years, with a maximum reported age of 392 years. The authors of the study concluded that the Greenland shark is the longest living vertebrate known to man. They live so long because they grow so very slowly. They grow about 1 centimeter a year and reach maturity at about 100 years old. Creeping in at number 3, we have the ocean quail. The ocean quahog's habitat stretches from the east coast of North America to Iceland, the Shetland Islands, and the Cadiz, Spain. The typical Arctica islandica resembles the quahog, but the shell of the ocean quahog is rounder. The periostracum, the thin organic coating or skin, which is the outermost layer of the shell, is usually black, and on the interior of the shell, the paleal line has no sinus. Ocean quahogs are filter feeders. They bury themselves into the ocean floor to feed on microscopic algae. Ocean quahogs can live for at least 200 years. At 507 years of age, Ming the clam broke the Guinness World Record as the oldest animal in the world. Collected off the coast of Iceland in 2006, initial counts of the annual rings of the shell put the age at around 405 years old, which was still a record breaker. Flailing in at number 2, we have the Antarctic sponge. Unlike most fry cook varieties of sponges who like to live in a pineapple under the sea, the Antarctic sponge, or the hexactinelids, live at depths greater than 1,000 feet. In a few coastal locations though, however, such as Antarctica, the northeastern Pacific, New Zealand, and some caves in the Mediterranean, species are found at depths accessible by scuba divers. Their tissues contain glass-like structural particles called spicules that are made of cilia. These glass sponges produce extremely large spicules that fuse together in a beautiful pattern to form a glass house, a complex skeleton that often remains intact even after the sponge itself dies. Glass sponges are purely filter feeders. Sponges subsist on macroscopic detritus material, but also consume cellular material, bacteria, and non-living particles so small they cannot be resolved with a light microscope. Researchers at the Max Planck Institute for Chemistry in Mainz have now determined the age of more than 2 meter long and 1 centimeter thick glass sponge to be about 11,000 to 15,000 years old. And finally, jiggling in at number 1, we have the immortal jellyfish. A species of jellyfish first discovered in the 1880s in the Mediterranean Sea. Fully grown, the immortal jellyfish is only about 4.5 millimeters across, smaller than a pinky nail. A bright red stomach is visible in the middle of its transparent belt, and the edges are lined with up to 90 white tentacles. They are approximately 95 to 98% water, have no eyes, ears, mouth, heart, or a brain, have no bone spine, making them invertebrates. They eat plankton, tiny mollusks, larvae, and fish eggs. They might be kind of immortal, but the immortal jellyfish are not impervious to all threats. Let me explain. In response to physical damage or even starvation, they take a leap back in their development process, transforming back into a polyp. In a process that looks remarkably like immortality, that born-again polyp colony eventually buds and releases medusae that are genetically identical to the injured adult. The cellular mechanism behind it, a rare process known as transdifferentiation, is of particular interest to scientists for its potential applications in medicine. By undergoing transdifferentiation, an adult cell, one that is specialized for a particular tissue, can become an entirely different type of specialized cell. It's an efficient way of cell recycling and an important area of study in stem cell research that could help scientists replace cells that have been damaged by disease. So there it is, the oldest living creatures that still exist today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Have a nice one.